Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jay Michaels, and I am here once again with some brilliant visionary filmmakers from Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival. Now, Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival, you're saying, "Oh, that sounds great." No, let's really talk about Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival. It is 50 years. It is proclaimed one of the top 10 genre film festivals in the world, and this year one of its entries even is up for an Academy Award. Boston Sci-Fi has elevated the notion of science fiction to the parable-ridden, brilliant flights of fantasy that we now see. It's not about a rubber mask or cheesy special effects anymore. It's a learning experience that takes our imagination to amazing levels. And we have three very brilliant filmmakers with us today. Let's start with my old buddy, Peter. Peter and I did a wonderful panel on Doctor Who at Boston Sci-Fi some years ago. Peter, how are you? How's everything?
I am good. I enjoyed that panel very much. I think I likened Doctor Who to a sort of sci-fi version of Sherlock Holmes. Um, some similarities there. But I'm good. I recently played as an actor. I recently played Malcolm McDowell's son in a an indie film called Summer House, which is not being released yet. And then an episode of Law and Order and stuff like this. I'm also prepping a feature, a sci-fi feature, which hopefully I'll be back to this festival with. But I'm here to talk about my short film Reset, which I wrote and directed, and which is showing in the 4 p.m. block on the first day of the festival. So that's February the 12th at 4 p.m. at the Somerville Theatre. Yes? Is it screening at the Somerville?
Somerville, yes, sir.
Some room in the Somerville Theatre.
That's great. What's it about?
So Reset is about a chip which it can be implanted into your brain in the not too distant future, very much sort of taking inspiration from Black Mirror in terms of the style. And the idea of Reset, the chip Reset, is that it inhibits various aspects of human behavior. So it's initially used very positively to suppress addiction and violent tendencies and things like that. But it's also used, by some conservative states to suppress homosexuality or things like that. So it quickly becomes sort of used for sinister purposes. And then, as in any good sci-fi, especially, if we think of Black Mirror or Michael Crichton, the chip malfunctions.
Of course, or it falls into enemy hands.
Well, in this case, we're dealing with sort of, one of the first incidences of the chip malfunctioning. So it really sets up the stage for, a possible bigger world. But we're dealing on sort of a smaller scale with one incident here after we get the happy clappy Reset sort of big pharma type commercial, which was a lot of fun to shoot.
I would imagine so. It's funny. You're like I say, science fiction. It's not impossibility. What we're seeing are imaginative versions of what if.
Oh, absolutely. I did a live voiceover for Google in 2020 at the Consumer Electronics Show, and this was just before COVID shut everything down. But we had some free time, and so the voiceover artists were wandering around looking at things, which we were kind of amazed by. And that was 5 years ago. So yeah.
Your film sort of allows us, for anyone who watches the major stations. I can't even say channels anymore. The major stations on television, you always see in the corner it says warning, nudity, foul language, smoking, or whatever else we consider foul.
Oh God, yeah, we can't have smoking in something.
Oh no, certainly not. I love it the way it's connected to it. Nudity, foul language, extreme violence, gore, smoking. And I always wonder, where is it going from here? Well, you're telling us eventually we don't need the child warning. They're just going to turn it off in our brains, and that's pretty frightening. Wow.
Yeah.
What made you think of this? What made you go for this?
Oh, I was definitely inspired by, my own fear and the fear of friends of sort of being tinkered with pharmaceutically, in terms of, and I think there's, if I may, there's more of a sort of a laissez-faire attitude to that in America than there is, I think, in the UK and in Canada and other places where it's, you know, I think there's perhaps more of a restraint. Whereas I think because so much of big pharma is sort of profit led, there's a sense of right, we you need to have something wrong with you in order for us to prescribe things. And so but then there's always a sense of like, are you guys just like remixing my brain here a little bit? Are you would and you know, so it's it was born from the fear of what if, you know, what if there's something in my brain that's happening, you know, at the moment in pill form, which makes me do this, or this as an unfortunate side effect. So it's that, and then it's, you know, it sort of goes into bigger issues of, you know, suppressing addiction and other things. And um, yeah, it's just, you know, the brain and the soul is not something that should be tampered with lightly, I think. So it was inspired by thoughts like that.
But you're right. In this country, we tamper with them lightly, and
It
it's
feels like it from the guinea pig's perspective.
oh,
So
it certainly does. It certainly does. They give us fattening, unhealthy food to make us sick, and then they give us pills to cure us, and so it's a whole it's a whole cabal. It's a whole
and they
cartel.
charge more for the sugar-free peanut butter. So I'm like, well, wait, but you've taken something out of that, but you're charging me more.
It's
It's a bit
organic.
like it's a bit like in the 80s when they were charging for ripped jeans,
Yeah, thank you.
pre-ripped jeans.
It's funny you say that. There was a company at that point. I'm not going to mention the company. They're probably still around, but they had a T-shirt with a great logo on it. I wanted to get it, and I went into this store to get it, and there was this razor thin person there who said, "What T-shirt would you like?" And I said, "That one." They said, "That would be $95." And I thought, I asked for the T-shirt, $95. Yeah, yeah, you're making quite the statement with your film. And you're part of opening day. You're going to be opening day with that.
Yes, as mentioned, that's 4 p.m. short block. I'm sure I'm in with some great company there. So I know it's a weekday, but why not bunk off work, call in sick? It's the opening of the 50th ever Boston Sci-Fi. That's a big anniversary, and why not come on opening day and check out some filmmakers of the future?
I think that's amazing. Yes, great experience right there. And speaking of great filmmakers, Tina, tell me all about your film.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm so nice. I'm so happy to be here. Actually, this is my first time that I'm going to Sci-Fi Boston Festival, so I'm so excited. So my film is actually explores a near future where technology dominates human connection, leaving individuals isolated and emotionally dumb. So this story actually follows Koi, which is a man isolated in his apartment his whole life, and he gets an advertisement about what if you order a baby online. So he decides to do that in order to find a meaning for his life, because life is meaningless at that point because everything is done by AI and robots, and humans are just as emotionless as robots are right now. So they're actually looking for something to leave for. So he decides to order a baby, but he doesn't know what to do with the baby once the baby comes at his house because he's never interacted with any live human before or like any animals. And the interesting thing about my film is that uh, our characters are my main character, and then we have a baby and one mouse and one rat. So I definitely encourage everyone to go watch this. My film is going to be on Saturday, February 15th at 1 p.m.
What made you think of this? What was in your brain to create an incel who wants a child?
Yeah. Honestly, it's just like pure imagination. I remember just walking, like I think I was 19 or 20 at the time when I came up with the idea of like a man that orders a baby online and doesn't know how to do anything, like how to take care of a baby. And then it just developed over the years, and now it's mirthless.
You take the and we make fun of this all the time. You take the notion of getting a bride from another country, the incel community, which is gaining visibility these days. You take these tropes and you take it one step further and say, okay, well, I just want a baby. Okay,
Yeah,
just order one from Amazon. There's your baby.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. Really intense, really, really interesting thought. Yours is one of those movies we're going to watch and enjoy, but we also then need to take a moment, sit back and breathe and say, you know, could it be possible? Would anyone dare do that? We really need to think about where we're going with this. We hear in Peter's also, it's like, okay, so there's the child warning. Be careful, there's smoking in this. But how far before we say, be careful, we're going to turn you off to certain things. So you're both giving us the scary futures ahead of us.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
oh, please, let it stay fantasy. Please don't become a reality. Please don't become a reality. Oh, okay. Dario, please don't scare me any further. What's your film about?
Hi, I'm Dario. I'm from Argentina, but I'm living in Japan now. My short film is Last Cigarette. The short film is about two teenagers, friends that are sitting next to the shore. They start talking little by little. One is getting a little confused about what she feels for the other one. And at some moment, we realize they are there watching kind of the end of the world. Like there is no escape from there because the moon in the sky is falling into the earth, and it's going to hit, and there is no other point going from there. Like there is a deadline. So the more close we are to that deadline, the more insecure and struggle has this girl for if she should tell the friend or not what she really feels. But also she doesn't know because it's kind of confused. It's kind of the first time she feels something for someone that strong. So at the end, she has to decide whether she will tell or not her true feelings.
The storyline there, except for one line, it sounds like this lovely intimate moment between two friends that may become more to each other. But you add the fact that the world is coming to an end, so they better hurry up. Oh my gosh, you're scaring me again. Wow. What? Okay, the notion of the relationship drama. That's
Yeah.
a familiar trope. What made you pepper it with the end of the world?
The idea for the short film is kind of comes actually more from like my own experience, more when I was a teenager, when you have this kind of uncertain if you really feel something for someone or not, and you're not really sure, and you start mixing your feelings, and kind of you feel it's the first time you're going to be your heart is going to be broken. So it's kind of you have to prepare or not yourself. So I thought that idea, because I'm living in Japan, I will have a lot of shore like that, like in the bay. I thought about putting that situation with that setup of with a kind of a time bomb. Instead of a bomb is going to explode, is the earth is going to explode. So that moment is, what would I do if that happens? Like you really are going to tell that to the other person, and you are going to go that way, and maybe very uncomfortable for the other person because doesn't love you back. And okay, that's it. It's a horrible moment with a horrible situation. So it's like kind of what will you do?
It's interesting. You're taking how many parents when their son or daughter when their child is broken up with, how many of them say, oh, there'll be others, that everything will be fine? And what do they say when their child is so miserable over such a thing? They say, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. And yet you're saying, okay, worry, it is.
Yes,
You're
it
also,
is.
if we want to try to put if we try to be a little less dystopian, we could say this is a great parable for for sharing your feelings. You're basically telling everyone, you know, don't wait till the
Yeah.
end. Don't say, okay, I'll do it later. No, this is an opportunity. Take it now because it may never come again. You're taking it to the 10th power, and you're saying
Yeah.
nothing will come again. So you better.
Yeah, nothing come again. So it's like, okay, you have to maybe got the courage to say that, because at some moment you need to release what you really feel. If not, that's it.
Wow, wow. And you got this just from your years as a teenager. Wow,
Uh,
really, really intense. When is it showing?
it's showing on February 16 at 2:30 p.m. in Somerville Cinema.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Brilliant piece. And folks, please go see these amazing films. It's the end of the world if you don't. You might. These are powerful messages, and you should get out there and look us up at bostonscifi.com. You'll get the entire list of films. You'll get all the panels. You'll get all the fun gifties. You'll get everything you need to know about this amazing film festival that has transcended the Oscars, that has transcended just being a film festival as it's one of the top 10, and has transcended to 50 years in operation. In regular film year, in regular human years, I think that's about 500. So we're doing pretty good. So we're doing really good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I wish you all the best on your films. Can't wait to see them. Can't wait to know what's going on with them. And thank you for spreading these amazing messages in a format we can all absorb with our imaginations.
Thanks,
Thank
Jay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Ciao.